Every year, we honor district, school, and individual PBL champions of the year. And we were thrilled to see so many great nominations and learn about the great working and happening in classrooms, schools, and districts across the country. And I want to extend my deepest appreciation and admiration for all of you, again, for weathering this storm and your commitment to our students and our families and our communities. The work that we heard about was incredibly inspiring. So from the bottom of all of our hearts at PBL Works, we want to say thank you. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Natasha, who will introduce our district champions.
Oh, yeah, I am ready. I am so thrilled to present the District Champion Award to Broward County Public Schools. Woohoo! Yes. In Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Broward became our district partner about 4 years ago. They reached out to PBL Works because they really wanted to focus on training all of their middle school principals, teachers, academic coaches, and y'all, over 900 teachers. 900 teachers they've trained already. In how to lead and implement gold standard PBL. But y'all, they didn't stop there. They've also worked to embed equity across the curriculum, and they embarked on a large-scale effort to connect social-emotional learning to PBL. Very intentional, very focused. The district leaders not only made sure that things were in place, but they attended the training. And they didn't attend the training and check emails in the back of the room. They participated. They were engaged in all of our lead series trainings. They participated in learning walks and just made sure that principals and leaders and teachers had what they needed to implement and scale gold standard PBL. Just so much remarkable commitment, dedication, and work. And they also created a PBL Ambassadors program, which consists of PBL Works trained teachers, leaders, and coaches supporting new teachers in their PBL journey. And they were working, yes. Did y'all hear what I said? Yes. So they're making sure that PBL is deeply sustainable in their district. And then they share the good news, right? Like they often highlight the PBL bright spots regularly in newsletters, and they just really do believe in the power of PBL integrated with SEL to impact all students in their middle grades and even some of their high schools. And we're gonna work to get in the elementary schools too, right? There we go, for sure. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Jermaine V. Fleming, Regional Superintendent for Broward County Public Schools. Come on up, Jermaine. Woo!
Here is your district champion award. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll make room for the team.
Wow, I was like, we did all that. Thank you, Natasha. On behalf of our superintendent, Dr. Vicki Cartwright, and the entire Broward County Public Schools family, we just graciously accept this award, and we're humbled by it. We're excited to share our recognition with not only Natasha and Taya and Chris and all of the folks that's been to Broward to support us, because we really believe that this has been a collaborative effort, and you guys have supported us from ground zero all the way up. It was interesting that I had a conversation last night over a robust glass of water with Bob. And I can see the connectivity with the staff and teaching faculty to all that you guys do for us and what we have here today. So I'm joined, this is my Jack Tripper moment. And for some of the younger folks, you may not understand. I'm traveling with some beautiful ladies here. Three's Company reference for some of the folks. You look it up later. This has been some collaborative work in our district and cross-functional teams, and it's important that we do so. So it's important that the team that we brought today represents a large swath of that. So I'll introduce them and sort of give a little snippet of what they do in the district. So Kawana Hibbert is with us. Kawana is instructional support throughout the district, and she's supporting teachers in the classroom, and she's helping us to scale to high school, and now our charge is to scale down to elementary school. So Kawana is joining us. The rock star of the group, a classroom teacher, is here with us, Dr. Simone Lewis. Now, if you ever get an email from Simone, you'll see her tag is the PBL Diva. So that's Simone, classroom teacher, has been supporting this work from the beginning. Jamie Okusu is leading the nation's, the world's largest debate program. And so she's a supervisor in our innovative learning division. Dr. Francine Barr Stewart is one of our principals. Francine has led this work in 2 schools since we've been started. So thank you, Francine, for being with us. And none of us would even be here today without this one person. And everyone on our team know her, the PBL folks know her. So we have a large, complicated engine that we have to move. And the one person that we always call is Tanya. So Tanya Thompson is our coordinator for this effort. So all of the stuff that you heard earlier is because Tanya said do it, and we did it. So we've spent the last 4 years on our PBL journey with the goal of changing the teaching and learning experience for students and teachers in the middle grades specifically, because of an initiative we had called Reimagining Our Middle Grades. This award reflects the strategic and intentional actions we have taken to lead us here today. So the bright spot of our journey thus far has been just last month, we had a presentation of learning. We had over 20 schools that shared their PBL journey with colleagues, teachers, central office administrators, and stakeholders around the district. So the school teams were excited to present their work and their journey, naming the levers that they put into place to support PBL in their schools and showing others what is possible. So our display of public product with an authentic audience was made possible in collaboration and guidance, of course, from our partners at PBL Works. So we really appreciate that. So as we look forward, and this has been really great for us today to think about the future, we have set our eyes on sustainability and ownership. And we want to make sure we launch our own PBL 101 and build sustainability in our district to scale that. But where did we get that big idea from? It was in 2019 that our team came here and heard that from another district. So this conference is valuable to us because it's helping us to scale as we go forward. So that district planted the seeds 3 years ago, and this big move will shift the ownership, strengthen the cohesion, and make connections for our district for the future. So we also look forward to our Broward teachers and numerous district-based teachers that to be trained as PBL ambassadors and providing more on-demand assistance. Thank you. So as we defined our impact and seeing our large-scale evidence supporting PBL throughout for our students' achievement, we encourage everyone here today to stay the course and grow your own journey. We're all here in different places of our journey, but guess what? We're here. So, and that's a big part of it. So be aware of the needs of your students, your teachers, create community, be responsive to the expressed needs to strengthen PBL implementation in your schools. So we look forward to our continued growth in the years to come, and our goal is to make PBL the main course and not the dessert. Because we aspire to have every student actualize their genius. Thank you.
Okay, now we get to introduce the school champion. This year, we are pleased to recognize Thomas A. Edison Career and Technical Education High School in Queens, New York. And Moses Ojeda is here to accept the award. Oh, you can. Yee-hoo! I'm going to say a little bit. Oh, come on up. So what was so unique about Thomas Edison was how project-based learning became a school-wide strategy. Most people push academic content in CTE, and what they did was reverse it and brought what was working in CTE into the academic areas. Treating students as their clients, they listened to their students describe why and how they were engaged in their CTE courses. They listened to the students and why, and the students told them also why they weren't engaged in their regular academic courses. They were engaged in the CTE. So authenticity, a key aspect of the gold standard PBL, jumped out as a key way to improve engagement. Their PBL journey has progressed, and now students provide feedback to teachers on project quality and authenticity on a regular basis. So inspiring. Congratulations to Thomas Edison Career and Technical Education High School, and please give a round of applause for the whole team, and especially Principal Moses Ojeda. So awesome.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning. Jermaine, I thought I was the only student in the room. And when I saw you, I appreciate more than you know today. So we obviously missed the memo. But good morning. I'm so honored to be here today to receive this award with my team. I got to tell you, the success of our school is attributed in part to the PBL Edison team that you see up here. They're the most creative and dedicated teachers that I have ever met. And I could, yes, give it up. And I consider myself fortunate to be part of this team. And our journey began 10 years ago with two individuals that are up here, with a vision to disrupt the educational system. And yeah, you can applaud. But I have to tell you, I didn't fully understand it at first, but I did see the passion they displayed. And that was enough for me to say, you deserve to get the green light. But I also remember telling them, you have 3 years to show results. Spoken like a true administrator. So, well, let me tell you, in the first year alone, they showed me results. Every year after that, they showed me results. To this day, they show results. And these trailblazers that I'm honored to work with is Danielle Ragavanis and Philip Baker. So they have raised the bar at our school, but moreover, this team will only innovate and pilot concepts to be rolled out in co-teaching classes. You may know it as ICT or CTT, but they do that, and you may say to yourself, why is that? And that's to prove to everyone that regardless of the learning profile, all students should have the opportunity to achieve more than they think they can, more than some people think they are capable of. And so this year marks 10 years after that initial meeting. The only difference is Ms. Ragavanis and Mr. Baker now have a team of trailblazers in each academic content area. Ms. Altschuler, Ms. Seglia, Ms. O'Brien, and Mr. Lagme. So project-based learning has always been at the forefront of our vision, and as a result, PBL has been instrumental in successfully preparing our students for the 21st century. So thank you, team, for constantly raising the bar and making the impossible possible. You amaze me every day, and this award is a testament to your ongoing hard work and dedication. And lastly, thank you, PBL Works, for your support and also recognizing our efforts. Thank you, everyone.
Now, time for the individual champion. This year, we honor Kendall von Bockenberg as our PBL individual champion. Kendall is a high school English teacher at Red Canyon Alternative High School, located in Gibson, Colorado, which is part of the Eagle County Schools. She has been teaching middle and high school and involved with youth for over 10 years. Kendall has a passion for project-based learning as it relates to the motivation and engagement of at-risk youth. Kendall stood out in the area of knowledge of students, one of our key equity levers. She observed how disengaged her students were and noticed their interest in skateboarding and used that as a springboard to re-engage them in their learning in their community. Her story was featured on PBS NewsHour. So we know you will all be as inspired by Kendall as we are of her. Please join me in welcoming Kendall, who will give a keynote today.
Thank you, Bob. Hi, good morning. Thank you so much. I realize you're celebrating me, but this isn't about me. This is a story about Sam. Let me tell you about Sam. He isn't selfish, lazy, or uninspired, but he's not disengaged or hurtful. He's not closed-minded or scared. What he is, though, is a passionate filmer, a twin and a son, a learner, and a skater who can see a dream and fulfill a story. Pair Sam with some other kids, one with an artistic eye and a loyal commitment to friendship, another good with social media, one who loves putting fashion together, someone who's always making a group laugh, another who enjoys flying a drone, someone committed to equity leadership, many dreaming of possibilities, a semi-pro snowboarder, and a BSer who's pretty smart. Two things they have in common: resiliency and skating. That's why I'm here. It is their project. It's their dream. This is a story of what can happen when a project is student-centered. It's the power of project-based learning and the power of getting to know your students to find their strengths and interests and going from there. When it's real to them, the learning is real too. When the right project comes around, it grows on its own, takes a life of its own, and can be something that can engage an entire community. I was not a skater, and I did not intend to be. I am the teacher who was looking to fill 2 weeks of middle school learning with something that felt more like not school. After too much pandemic and too much pretending we could all go back to normal, we needed an outlet. I knew that, and I knew that skateboarding was growing in popularity. So I pitched the idea. The opportunity for this creativity and learning came from a 2-week alternative learning environment, May term, which we call M-term. Due to our weird COVID schedule for 2021, M-term, our instructional leadership team gave teachers a lot of PD time to plan. With all that time and working from home, I could crank out a project that was super involved with possibilities. I knew I needed an idea that would keep kids engaged. I thought it was a great idea to make something in the school environment feel like it wasn't school, and I wanted to be off campus. The skate park was a little more than a mile away, and the rec center was close by the skate park in case Colorado blessed us with snow in May. I also wanted to do something for my colleagues where I could take the tough learners who frequently disengage from school. If I could take learning out into the community, it would feel more like how kids spend time during their summer. Research shows the more we can have school environments mirror kids' home learning environments, the more engaged learners will have. And between theory, time, and opportunity, the idea of a skate class rooted. During all this PD time planned from home, I would take my puppy for a walk and call different organizations in the community. The rec center was happy to donate a room for us to spend time in. Subway donated lunches, and Duchess Rider skate instructors were hired for 1 afternoon of instruction. My friends caught wind of our project and offered to swing through town to skate with the kids, but I still needed help as I imagined these possibilities. Like I said, I didn't skate, and who's cooler than high schoolers, especially high school skaters? The perfect project and the perfect audience. Come to find out, my mentor and colleague's son, Sam, loved to skate and had a dream. Sam and I sat together and discussed the current reality of the Gypsum Skate Park and what a project could look like and how it could still be cool. In our first meeting, I asked what his goals were. They included making the skate park safer and encouraging the skate community to be a more positive place for all. He then mentioned a new skate park, and that was a far-fetched dream that I would never have thought could be considered a reality. He had the ideas, and I layered on the principles of PBL to make it work. A driving force for Sam was that he wanted to communicate the current reality of the local park. He created a video for the high school student media and my middle school skateboarding intern. This video was used as our entry event to determine how we could positively impact the skating culture in our community. In intern, students explored their presence at the skate park and how each individual could impact how the community saw skaters. We hosted skate camps where they learned tricks, and they picked tricks to hone in on to improve over the 2-week class. It was a way for kids to practice their own resilience, and I observed self-growth in a way that was magical at the skate park. Here's a few of my favorite student reflections from intern.
I've learned a lot. I've gotten better tray flips. I got beta flips. You just gotta keep going and just work through the pain.
Well, this is actually my first time skateboarding, so I feel like I've learned a lot. When the skateboard goes up, your feet has to slide through it.
I do think it takes a lot of courage. There are tricks that are easier to land and tricks that are way harder to land. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of building up courage if you want to land the hard tricks, because people know what happened and they realize, they see people fall and they get scared. So you never know if you're going to land it unless, you just go for it.
I've learned that being around other people and them supporting you and you supporting them just brings you guys together, for one, and for two, just helps you all grow together as skaters.
It helps me progress when I'm skateboarding, like dropping in the bowls.
It teaches me to not be scared going down the little hills. It has taught me to be patient with tricks.
Well, I thought it was gonna be easy, and then when I first did it, it was actually really hard.
I'd say since August of 2019. I started skateboarding my friends got me into it, and then I got my first board, and yeah. I've learned to never give up on the trick that you're trying to do, even though if you did it for a long time. I'm trying to master the heel flip right now.
That it's fun, and the people around here are nice.
Just improving by watching them and where they place their feet and stuff. My favorite part is probably to be able to hang out with my friends and have fun at the same time and just hanging out with everybody.
In the meantime, another job opens up in our school district. I go for it. It's an alternative learning project-based high school for at-risk students. I get the job, and right away, one task is to make a specials class that incorporates something students will be interested in, along with many other project-based classes for my English curriculum. Enter skate class at Red Canyon High School. Skate class was started as a Friday class in the fall. We start with the same video, laying groundwork for expectations, identity exploration, and community building, and begin spending our Fridays skating at different parks in the community. As we embark on Friday skate class, we were naturally led to the question, what barriers stand in the way of skateboarding being a positive sport in our community? We then sought to fix those barriers. Ideas included more skate instruction, safer skate parks, more inclusive communities, accessible bathrooms, and more opportunities for positive interactions between skaters. If you've visited skate parks, you can tell which ones have positive communities and which ones do not. And it's amazing what intentionally goes into the parks that allow this. Exploring this question led to a natural progression towards looking at the Gypsum skate park and seeing that there were some geographically challenging things about the layout of the park and the location of the park that led it to being an unsafe park. I watched as older skaters would prefer to go to other parks in the valley, and because of that, there wasn't a natural mentorship that occurs at the other parks we visited. Skating is special. The interaction between older kids and younger kids and different types of kids is something I haven't observed in any other place, and I've been working with youth in both school and athletics for a long time. One day, I have to tell you this story. We were at the park, and I saw a student in a polo shirt tucked in with this white thing on his head and a remote in his hands. He didn't have a skateboard. Instead, he had a computer. I was anticipating his presence at the skate park to not be widely popular. As the only adult at the park, I monitored the situation, paying attention to how he was received by a group of kids who were clearly ditching school and BMX biking at the park. As I observed the situation, he became the most popular kid at the skate park. He was connecting his drone to a GPS system that would follow skaters and bikers around and create footage of their tricks. It was one of the most juxtaposed pairings of social groups with a common goal and interest, while observing the value of a skate community was palpable. I developed a theory. If we can make a skate park that is more desirable for older skaters, then we can have a more positive community for youth that can't commute out of town just yet. This is one way we can impact the mental health epidemic our kids are facing, through a passion we all have and a sport that's relatively free and accessible by all. It was clear that a new skate park could improve our community in more ways than we could imagine. The class naturally turned into an advocacy project. Sam was willing to document our learning to help others and see what we could. In the meantime, he had the opportunity to enter a video into the PBS NewsHour Student Journalist Competition, Our New Normal. Sam and his friend Langston thought our Red Canyon High School skateboarding class would be the perfect topic for their entry. As of fall of 2021, we now had students at the traditional high school, alternative high school, and local middle school involved in this project. Sam and Langston engaged fully in bringing our normal into the limelight of what school could look like. They created their project for their film class, and we were the topic. My students hit English, PE, and health standards by doing what they love and interviewing with Sam and Langston, and we continued our mission to visit local skate parks, observing the potential and the challenges skaters faced. We prepared to go to the Gypsum Town Council to pitch our idea. And the PBS competition narrowed stories to feature in the PBS NewsHour Spotlight of Schools. I remember it well because the date we selected for Town Council was the same date that Sam and Langston's Winning Piece would air.
The pandemic has been difficult for all of us, but particularly for students who've experienced major disruptions to both their education and their social lives. In a special program, our Student Reporting Labs team explores how young people are dealing with this new normal. Here's a slice of their reporting, a look at one teacher taking an unconventional approach to learning.
Go do some tricks.
During the pandemic, I noticed that a lot of students were skateboarding. I can see the skate park from my house. So when I see kids interested in something, of course, I'm going to figure out a way to bring that into the classroom.
Miss V is a teacher at Red Canyon High School in Gypsum, Colorado, trying to solve a problem that students know all too well.
There's something missing in the education system. Kids find themselves not wanting to go to school and at the skate park. Why can't we take that something else and make school a part of it?
While the class may just look like students fooling around at the skate park, they're actually learning about urban planning, design, and how to build a stronger community.
We talked about barriers that stand in the way of kids being able to skate, and then we came up with solutions to those barriers to make skateboarding more accessible to all kids in our community.
Mostly what we're doing right now is trying to get a skate park in Avon to make things a little more accessible to the kids there and also help reduce the crowding. We are working on getting funding from the Tony Hawk Foundation to revamp this place that we're standing at right here, and my group specifically has been working on a design that we think would be really cool.
I'm actually doing work for my community, and it's not really just a class anymore. I'm part of something bigger than just this class.
With each new trick, students understand more about themselves as well as how to connect, how to teach, and how to learn from one another.
It's hard. If you're learning to do from the most basic skill to a really difficult skill, it takes a lot of resilience to get back up and try again.
It's one of those things where if you can put your mind to something and just kind of get into it, you can really prove to yourself that you can do whatever you want.
I always thought it was super cool, and I thought the skaters were super cool. So it makes me feel good, and I like learning new things.
School can be stressful for kids these days, and I think it's really important that we have these days to be able to just be able to relax, because it's not like we get recess anymore, you know? We don't get to go play with our friends and use our imaginations. If we get rid of that creativity, by the time we're adults, we're not going to be doing anything useful with the world. You know, we're not going to be able to solve these world problems because we're all looking at what's ahead of us, just not taking time to think about things that are outside the box.
It helps a lot with conquering your fears, because it's scary to do some things, and when you finally own up to it, it's relieving. I recently learned how to drop in. It's pretty scary, but I did it.
And while Miss V is teaching her students how to face their fears, at the same time, she had to do it herself.
I learned how to drop in, and I was scared because you fall, and I'm looking at a student who is a language learner who I've watched take so many risks in the classroom, and I've watched sit there and struggle when he was younger, and I've forced him to read and write and grow. He's got the drop in, he totally can do it, and he's cheering me on, and so of course I'm going to take that risk.
What a great teacher, and this program is exceptional. You can watch Student Reporting Lab's full program, Our New Normal, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, and that's on our YouTube channel.
I love that story at the end of the video. How can I expect kids to follow my words of taking academic risks if I can't show them what it looks like for me to take a risk? I'll say it again, I didn't think I would turn into a skater. I really don't like to hurt myself. I honestly thought when this whole thing started, I would walk down to the skate park with the kids and chill there while they skated. But sharing my raw fear with kids is where the skate park magic transferred into the classroom. When I learned anything new on the skateboard, in my moments of freaking out beforehand, my students would say, "Miss, if you go, I go." Those words stuck with our crew. If you go, I go. So if they'd go, I had to go to show them what growth and resilience and follow through was worth to me. I had to push through my fears. No, my fears aren't reading or writing or school in general, but they used to be. And that's why I became a teacher. Those kids haven't seen what I've pushed through to be in a classroom and share with them. Learning to skate put it all right there on the table. For the rest of the year, when somebody had a bad day, kids would ask if I'd share the video of me eating it on national TV. I'd play the video and we'd all laugh together. After that video aired, we showed up to town council and looked so out of place. The skaters looked awesome, dressed up for the event, but they had their beanies on because, well, they're skaters. As the meeting started, they reached up, took their beanies off, and turned into well-dressed kids. We live in a conservative, old-school community that has agriculture as its focus. I didn't think they'd go for the project. Man, was I wrong. The kids spoke, I spoke, our school resource officer spoke on behalf of himself and the sheriff. The kids that couldn't make it wrote letters. And we had a whole community gathering around an idea that only 6 months ago was in our wildest dreams. This article was published last week in our local newspaper. The town agreed to move forward on the project, and best of all, make sure my students continue to be a part of it. Sam and Langston have now graduated and promise they're not done supporting our advocacy project and do much of our writing and dreaming through emails and texts. AP tests and finals got in the way of them attending the last big work sessions in person, which included the skate park project, teaching students how to write a request for proposal, or RFP, and the town manager coming into class to assign the RFP to students. The kids created what will be required of a company to come in and build the park. They have a clear direction of what features must be included in a skate park that represent the current needs of our community. The skate committee is made up of principals, therapists, students from the middle school, high school, and alternative high school, and they will select which company designs the park. We continue our mission to make real-life learning benefit our community in a way that kids see fit. When doing so, they contribute their skills as they see value in their own education. If you take anything away from this story, it's the power of project-based learning. And the possibilities of student voice and choice. Don't let a learner like Sam skate by. Who knows, he, she, or they may even be in your class. Get to know your students and find their strengths and interests and go from there. Ask questions, pair with standards, and develop ideas together. Students will pick what they want to do. They know how they can contribute. And when it's real to them, the learning is real too. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.